Hi guys, this is a pick a card reading for what is it that your inner child needs healing, or just what attention does your inner child need at this point in time. So as I was moving and packing things, I didn't have very many childhood toys left, but I did somehow keep these cute little dolls. And I thought, because I've been trying to take better care of my inner child lately, I thought maybe this will be a good reading to do for the collective. So if you guys want to take a second to pick which pile sounds good to you, we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. The timestamps will be listed down below in the description box. If you guys need a second longer to pick which pile, go right ahead and pause the video. All right, those of you guys that chose pile number 1, this cute doll, this is going to be your guys' reading. Or if you chose this Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. So what is it that your inner child wants you to know, or wants attention, or needs healing? I'm going to shuffle the cards real quick for you guys. Just give me one moment, please. I am so excited to finally announce that I have my own line of candles. If you guys are interested in any of the candles that I've created, please check it out in the description box, as well as using the promo code Shae208. That will give you free shipping above anything that's $50 and up in purchase. If you guys are interested in learning about the significance between each candle, I created a video. Check it out, you guys. Thank you for supporting me, my channel, and my friend. Thank you. Okay, pile number 1. What is it that your inner child wants you to know at this time? So I'm getting a couple of things, pile number 1. I feel like a lot of you guys, I'm almost just kind of getting that you almost made peace with something from your childhood. And what I mean by that is you almost just accept what happened or what is. Like, you don't see a point in fighting it or trying to change it. There is this feeling that I'm getting from you guys that pile number 1, I kind of feel like a lot of you guys have had, like, you could have traveled a lot as a child. You could have moved from home to home. Now that's not going to be for anybody, like everybody, obviously. But I do get the feeling that for a good majority that chose this pile, you guys could have literally moved from like apartment to apartment, or home from home, or state to state. So maybe you didn't stay in one place for very long. There's definitely something about never really having a true stable environment. So not having that stable environment really did cause a lot of you guys to maybe not make as deep of connections as you would have liked, or maybe you feel like you just weren't able to basically maybe create as big of a foundation as you would like have had. But there's something here of almost like you realize your loss and you're just accepting it because you feel like there's no point, like you cannot change it. But there's definitely this part of you that is still kind of holding on. You think you put an end to it. You think that you are over it in a way, but it's like, because you try not to think about something in particular about your childhood. I'm kind of getting the feeling of maybe being put down a lot, like you couldn't really speak up very much. Definitely getting a feeling of the throat chakra kind of being closed. I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of in this process of healing yourself, and it's almost like you guys, what your inner child really wants is to be able to have more self-expression. I don't think you were allowed to really talk about what was bothering you, or you just felt like you really couldn't open up to the caregivers or the people around you. So there left this kind of mark in you that some things were okay to talk about and other things were not okay to talk about. I'm also just getting here too that there could have been points in your life where, say for instance, a parent could have left and you had no choice but to accept it, or maybe you had it just seemed like there was a lot of imbalance in the relationships around you to where you just had to drop it. You couldn't really complain, you couldn't really argue. There was this sense of getting really stifled, and I don't think a lot of your needs were met due to having to kind of almost walk on eggshells around the people around you, because I feel like the people around you couldn't handle the truth, or they couldn't handle something in your life. And so this was kind of it's almost like this was kind of something that kind of forced you guys to maybe even get lost in your own mind. So a lot of you guys maybe were not really necessarily as a child in reality, because maybe the reality around you was not as kind or as generous. So there was a lot that you kind of had to hold back. There was a lot of false starts, or a lot of, again, situations where you had no control over that maybe ended in really terrible ways. And it really forced you guys to kind of have to almost put yourself in a box or in a situation where you didn't feel your best, or you didn't feel very happy dealing with. And so this was something that really could have stifled your growth in some way or another. There's definitely something here about maybe your creativity taking a hit as well, and something about nobody around you truly built your self-esteem up. As a child, we need to get mirrored back to us that we are doing good, or that, we need our emotions regulated, and we don't have a parent there or somebody that can confirm to us how we're feeling. It can really mess us up, because then we don't really know how we're feeling, or we feel like we're not getting validated for who we are. And so that can actually put a big impact on the image that we have of ourselves and the way that we perceive ourselves. And I kind of get this feeling, pile number one, that you might have had people around you who didn't really congratulate you when you did something good, or they didn't really give you the feedback that you needed in order to build a healthy self-esteem or a healthy self-worth in yourself. And so there was something about lacking in support, or lacking in a family structure, because I'm kind of getting the feeling here of maybe being around people or places or situations or circumstances that really could have kept you guys feeling really stuck or really stifled. And that really could have caused a lot of issues down the line, because as a child, we really need to feel that we can be seen and heard. And I just kind of feel like you guys could have even been left alone a lot, or just, again, the supervision that you had wasn't really the best. It wasn't what you needed. It's almost like you guys could have even probably acted out as a child, or maybe got in trouble, or you would kind of just keep to yourself, right? I'm getting two different types of people on how they would have responded or reacted to this situation. But I really feel like for a lot of you guys, this was a situation where it just kind of left you feeling heartbroken and hurt, and feeling like you were not truly seen for who you were as a child. And I feel like this could have really impacted, again, the way that you perceived yourself, or the way that you viewed yourself. There's definitely something here of feeling like you were never really enough, feeling like maybe you had to put a lot of effort in to get attention from these people in your life. I'm also just kind of getting too that your talents were never really seen, or if they were, again, there was not a proper feedback telling you did a good job or that what you did is great. So there's just this feeling of kind of feeling lost or feeling kind of not seen or not heard. So definitely there is this part of you guys, like, I'm almost getting the lost child vibe or a middle child. You don't have to be either of those. And if you guys are not aware of the term lost child, it's a term that they use in dysfunctional families. You normally have a golden child and a scapegoat child, and then you normally have a lost child. And the lost child is somebody that is just kind of there, but nobody really pays attention to them. They don't really get the proper feedback. They're kind of just in the background. And the only time they ever get acknowledged is if they're in the way, or if the family unit gets disturbed in some way, and then all of a sudden they pay attention to the lost child or to that person. But other than that, it's like this kid, the kid walks around and aimless and not really seen, not really heard, not really acknowledged. It's kind of just like being a ghost in your own home. It's kind of what it feels like. Some of you guys, like I said, there's just something about maybe just not getting your way very much. So there was a lot of disappointment in your household. You could have felt very disappointed in a parental figure, or again, you just dealt with a lot of people that, just wasn't giving you what you needed. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear, my dog is under my table and he is snoring. It's kind of late when I'm filming this, so I'm trying to be a little quiet. But yeah, and that's just really what I'm getting. So I'm gonna pull some extra cards here, just some like additional messages. Yeah, we have mature woman. And we have despair. I just felt like, again, and I think you guys were harshly judged as a child, or very misunderstood a lot. Again, there's something about your throat chakra. People really getting angry with you for speaking up, or maybe you guys are kind of like the truth tellers, right? You guys, or like the whistleblowers of the family. Maybe you saw the injustices. Somebody could have had a mother figure or a grandmother that could have been very cruel, very mean, that maybe did things to you that could have also taken a blow to your self-worth or your self-esteem. There's definitely, again, I kept sensing disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. Again, with that death card here, there's something just about every time you tried to do something, it just didn't go in the way that you were hoping it would. This was just really devastating for you guys. Wealthy man, you guys could have been well off as a child, or you could have had maybe material goods. Maybe you had toys, or you had clothes, or you were fed, like you could have a roof over your head, like maybe all your like external needs were met. But I don't think that you were really acknowledged for how intelligent you were, your emotional and your mental and your just, even maybe getting hugged, right? Maybe even just being hugged and loved just really wasn't something that happened in your household. Again, or see here, poverty. I'm also getting too, guys, that some of you guys, maybe your family lived above their means. They acted rich when really they were very poor. So there could be something there as well. You could be dealing with people that really just kind of cared more about image than they did about the family unit, or about making sure things were okay. A message of concern. So you could have dealt with family where, and this is what I'm getting with the message of concern. People could have acted like, oh, we're just worried about you, but then like not actually give you the help you need. Or people would act like they care, but they wouldn't really do anything or give you what you actually needed. There's definitely something here about See, and I get a message. Maybe you guys even could recently be getting a message about a mother figure being ill or something happening in that way. But I just kind of get this feeling that from you guys in particular, it's like you just were not getting the love or the support that you really needed. And it really could have just impacted you guys. And it just really does feel like there was this sense of despair, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief. You could have had a lot of people pass away even as well. For some of you, I just heard a family friend or like a friend that you had or a grandparent. There could have been a significant death as well that could have left you feeling this deep sadness and this deep grief that you need to heal. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, the main things that I'm picking up is your throat chakra and your heart chakra that really need to be healed. And I get the sense that for your inner child, one of the ways that maybe you can help your inner child out or just help mend the parts of you that didn't get nurtured and loved in the way you needed to is to listen to yourself. I think that you may, and even up to this point, you may still have people who dismiss your feelings or dismiss how you think, and it's needing to give yourself that acknowledgement. I also feel like for a lot of you guys as well is maybe you guys just need to take some time out for yourself. Some of you guys could even have had a message of concern for your health, right? Maybe you guys could have even had burnout. I feel burnout. I feel like a lot of you guys could have burned yourselves out, or you guys could have just had illness or been around people who were sick a lot. But there's just definitely like this instability and this chaotic energy that you guys have dealt with that really did impact your inner child. You didn't feel very safe. You didn't feel very nurtured or seen or loved. And I think that this is all kind of coming back to you to be healed or to be cleared. So here we have growth. I think the situations from your past have definitely led you to be much wiser, to be a lot more considerate of others even as well. I think that for some of you guys, because you were dismissed a lot as a child, it kind of gave you this incentive to not try and do that to others. So you guys might even be very good listeners. But I just get this feeling that one of the things that your inner child is really craving is this wanting to express themselves. I don't know if you guys enjoy singing or if you enjoy, there's something in your childhood I'm getting that was a hobby or something that you enjoyed doing that brought you a lot of joy. And maybe you could have been ridiculed or laughed at or made fun of for it. That maybe is, you need to start to implicate that back again. Maybe you need to start in doing the things that you used to do and enjoying the things that you used to do. So I'm also getting that for a lot of you guys, this growth has triggered you guys to have an expansion or an awareness about your childhood, which I'm kind of getting to, that this is the pile that has done a lot of inner healing for their inner child. I don't think this is your first time learning about how to heal your inner child. I kind of get the feeling that you guys have this just kind of feels like the pile that has taken responsibility for their own wounds and wants to better themselves. And so I feel like because of the past experiences that you've had a lot, that this has caused you guys to actually mature. It's caused you to actually expand, not only in a spiritual way, but also in a mental way. You have leveled up the way that you perceive your life. And I kind of get the feeling that a lot of you guys could even dedicate yourselves to helping others because of that. Because you've gone through such hardships, you're choosing to take that pain and transmute it to something that's better. And I also feel like, again, with that service, I think you guys are very charitable, or you love to give or help others. And especially because of the message of concern, you might have actually had to take care of some sick people, or you yourself is sick. And it's like, I just get this feeling that there's something about this pile where I think you need to pick a day where you put on your favorite cartoon or your favorite childhood movie, get some popcorn, get your favorite childhood snacks, and just detach from the world. There's this need of needing to just do something that is going to calm yourself down, that's going to kind of give yourselves the ability to relax a little more. I think this pile is always on a go, or always doing something, or it's like you're always helping others. And it's time to kind of like pull back maybe a little bit and give more to yourself in that way. Like for instance, when I was a kid, I really loved to paint my nails blue. I always loved the color blue. And although this is kind of a bluish green, I did that today for my inner child. I even pulled out my toys and played with them like when I did when I was a kid. It was weird, right? But I have been doing things to better myself. One of my favorite kind of candies is cotton candy. I really love cotton candy, and I got cotton candy and I ate it and enjoyed it the other day. It's like do little things like that, because I get that sense from you guys that that's just kind of like what you need. It's like eat your favorite candy bar that you had when you were a kid. Go ride a bike. Go do fun little activities that your inner child loves to do. And I kind of feel like that is going to kind of help you guys break out of this, because I almost get this feeling you guys are always healing yourselves, you're always taking care of others, but there's just this need of maybe you should just like relax, right? Just take a breather. Don't be afraid. It's recovery. You guys are recovering. It's like you have to think about your heart, because I'm getting that it's almost like your heart has got a lot of wounds, right? A lot of people, at the bottom of the deck here, we have rejection. You guys could have dealt with a lot of rejection as a child. You even could have had a parent walk out on you, or again, there's a lot of broken promises, a lot of things that kind of really impacted your heart. And you have to treat your heart like you would a sprained ankle, right? Sometimes we need to just pull back. Maybe we want to like drink like coffee or tea, or have some soup, something warm, something that's gonna feel good. Maybe curl up with a book or watch a show, watch comedy, do something that's gonna make you laugh, something that's gonna give you guys a sense of a little bit of joy, right? I think you guys need some laughter in your life, but treat your heart like it's an actual wound, because I feel like you guys have gone through a lot, and it's almost like your inner child is asking you to allow yourself to recover. Allow yourself a day or two. It's okay to detach. It's okay to turn off your phone. The whole world's not going to burn down for a day because you decided to disconnect from people. I feel like you guys really just need to get back in touch with yourself, and maybe write down a list of all the things that you didn't get to do as a child, or the things that you wanted to do. If you guys had, like for instance, this came to mind and this is really weird, but see, my parents promised me that they would take me to Disney World, and they never did, right? And then they promised me they would take me to SeaWorld, and they never did. And that really hurt me as a kid, because my parents would be like, oh, all your siblings got to go to Disneyland or Disney World, and they got to go to SeaWorld, but I didn't. And they would rub that in my face. My parents would rub that in my face. And so that was a major disturbance in my heart chakra, because I really, really wanted that. And I really believed my parents when they told me that they would take me there. And so it's on my to-do list is to go to Disney World and to go to SeaWorld and to go to here and to go to there. So the places that I wanted to go to as a child that I didn't get to go to, it's on my to-do list. Maybe you need to write a to-do list, and the stuff that you can do right now, start implicating that. Because I feel like that's going to actually heal that, right? Because again, that sense of disappointment, that crushing disappointment in feeling like you never got what you really wanted or needed. If there was a particular toy that maybe you wanted, pile number one, and you didn't get it, or say your parents got it but they didn't give it to you, go buy that toy, you know? Go do things that you enjoy doing. And I get the sense that when you start to do that, things are going to get a lot easier for you, because it's almost like you guys just need to take yourself out and go have fun, you know? Go play laser tag or go to a bounce house. Like, seriously, age is nothing but a number. And I think that as people get older, we start to restrict ourselves on the things that we can and cannot do, even in public. So it's like learning to kind of relax a little bit into that and saying, you know what, screw it. If I want to go out and do this, I'm going to go out and do that. And so I think that for a lot of you guys, that is something that you really need to do, is kind of think about something that you can do today or tonight and start it, right? And start enjoying it. I feel like, because that's going to give you some healing. Because again, I can't help, I feel this ache in my heart. And I think it's just because of this past disappointment of your family not giving you what it is that you deserve or what it is that you actually needed. So I'm going to have these cards here. So we have Dolphin, financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. A lot of you guys are going to receive financial, or I'm even getting a gift, right? Something in the past that you have done, and I'm getting it has a lot to do with your service, is going to pay off in the long run for you guys, because you guys have such a kind heart. Even when you've been impacted so greatly, you still chose to give to others. You still chose to love others. And you could have chosen to be this mean, bitter person, but instead you wanted to uplift the world. You saw the pain and the misery of the world and you wanted to help. And that is very admirable. And I feel like that is finally going to pay off for you guys. We also have here Club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. And I feel like that's happened a lot to you as a child. People always trying to make you do something that is not right for you or that you didn't want to do. Again, there's just something here about feeling this lack of control in your life, or feeling this lack of consistency. And I get the sense too that even with that mature woman, this person could have really guilt tripped you or shamed you into doing things for them, or would make you feel bad for being there, right? It's almost like this woman or these people could have literally made you feel like a burden for existing. Like the fact that you were breathing air or that you were eating their food was like the biggest burden. And it's like you have to learn, and that maybe that's why you also give a lot, pile number one, is maybe because deep down there is this core wound that I need to keep giving to people because I'm a burden, right? I want to prove that I'm not a burden, but you're not. So it's like having to learn to heal that. Right? Having to learn that you are not a burden to society or to your family or to those around you. You are a gift. Your energy is a gift. You have a very loving, healing energy that I can feel from this pile. And I just feel like a lot of you guys have been mistreated or misunderstood. And this really could have impacted you on a soul level. And as sad and as unfortunate as that is, you did not deserve that, pile number one. So we have here haystack, karma, you will reap what you have sown. A lot of you guys are going to start getting better karma, and I just kind of feel like this is the time to enjoy your life, pile number one, because you guys have done a lot for others, because you guys have gone through a lot in yourself. It's like telling you, take time to recover, right? Take time off for yourself. Don't be afraid to be a little selfish, and know that whatever good things come into your life, don't give it out to others. Keep it for yourself. Give yourself. So if, for instance, if you guys get a lump sum of money, maybe you're the type of people that would overshare and overgive, and then you don't have your blessing anymore, right? If money or a gift or things are coming in, be open to receiving it, and hold on to it. Don't, because some of you guys maybe feel guilty for receiving something or for getting something, and maybe you want to give it out really quickly because out of this guilt or obligation. And I feel like you're giving it out to the people that don't deserve it. So it's basically like your inner child is saying, like, if you get a money or if you get gifts, take it and use that for yourself. Do something for yourself. Stop giving it away. So we have here egg, success assured with good plans and hard work. Again, I knew this pile is a hard worker. You guys you work hard to get for the things that you have. And I feel like, again, you guys, maybe you've been taken for granted a lot, right? You've been around people who don't see your worth or don't give you what you deserve. And it's time for you guys to give that to yourself. It's time for you guys to really see what is best for you. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're in that process of really letting this go, really healing and really processing it. And I feel like, again, good things are going to come in for this pile. I can just already feel it. But there is this sense of needing to let go of being a burden. And unfortunately, I can't preach about that because I feel the same way. I have a very hard time not feeling like a burden to those around me because my family led me to believe that I was this massive burden for my existence. And the only way that I've learned to kind of cope with it is to always remind myself that my presence is a gift. I can calm people down, right? I have this ability to, if I really, really want to, I can help people relax. And sometimes I'm not aware of that, right? And I get that sense from you guys too. You guys have this soothing presence about you, pile number one. And I feel like you need to keep reminding yourself that you being around others is this gift. You release a lot of stress for people around you. You're this person that, unfortunately, I get that you get taken granted for because maybe you guys allow people to vent to you and then you leave tired, right? So there's something here of you guys are this, your presence is enough. You are enough. And it's having to really ground yourself in that belief. Because I feel like pile number one, that is what your inner child is crying out for, is to be heard, to be seen, and to be acknowledged for the gifts that you have. Because I feel like you guys are very multifaceted people. Like you are like the jack of all trades. Like you dabble in this and you dabble in that. And it's like, acknowledging that about yourself and enjoying that part about you and not allowing other people to put you down so much or to stifle your opinions or who you are as a person. So we have here forest, muddled, unclear thinking. Some of you guys, and this really upsets me to have to say this, but you could have been around people who would make you feel stupid for your beliefs or would gaslight you, tell you things that aren't true, would do things behind your back and then lie and say, oh, I never said that or I never did that, but they did. So you could have been around a lot of people who could have been not so truthful with you. And that could have really clouded your own perception of self. Again, there's something about you not seeing how really amazing you are, and how really there's like, it's hard to explain, pile number one. There's something about your guys' soul that is very loving. It's very giving, but there's something about it that makes you very unique, that makes you guys stand out. And I get the sense that it has something to do with this resilience that you have. And I just feel like you've been around people who have seen that strength in you, that tried to beat that out of you at a very young age. And it's having to get you guys to come back to that, right? To understand your worth again. So we also have here grasshopper, a situation, the balance that requires careful handling. So a lot of you guys are kind of in this maybe weird stage right now, where maybe you're trying to almost coexist with your family or coexist with certain people. And I kind of get the feeling too that a lot of you guys are maybe you guys just apologize too, like you always be the bigger person, and maybe you apologize when it's really the other person that should be apologizing, right? It's like there's something there about that, and I just kind of get that feeling from you, that vibe from you guys, that it's like you're in this difficult situation, but it's almost like everything is going to kind of fall back into place for you once you can kind of learn to accept your greatness of who you are. So we also have November, and then at the bottom of the deck, we also had July. So those can be significant months for you guys, or those can be maybe a time frame for the future or something that maybe is important for you guys. I know that right now, we're in the month of November, so maybe you guys can be in a difficult situation at the moment, with situation in the balance that requires careful handling in the month of November. So maybe something in this month could be a significance to you guys, but I'm definitely getting that feeling from you that you are in that process of healing and letting things go. And I just feel like that's going to really help clear out some of this confusion in your life, because I feel like for some of you guys, you're gonna get some kind of truth or some kind of clarity, and it's just to remind yourself to be kind to yourself, to love yourself, and to know that you need to put yourself first, right? You're not a burden. And it's like, again, you have to keep reminding ourselves, right? We always, all of us have to. Everybody I know, there is not one person on this planet who hasn't had one bad experience, right? So we all have to keep reminding ourselves that just because somebody treats us poorly doesn't mean that it's because we are low quality or that we don't deserve to be treated right. It says more about that individual than it does about us. It also tells us a lot more about that person's wounds as well. So there's something about needing to give yourself compassion for the way that you've been treated and not take it so personally. And I think that's something that your inner child is trying to communicate with you guys at this time. So basically, pile number one, what I'm getting from you guys is that there is abundance coming into your guys' life, and it's telling you not to spend it on other people, but to be a little selfish with that, and to do things, hobbies, or things that once brought you joy. And maybe, again, maybe eating your favorite candy bar and watching your favorite like Disney movie or something as a child. Like, go and do things that you wanted to do that you were denied as a child, and that's going to also really help heal your heart, especially this despair, because I feel like there is a deep sadness that needs to be resolved, that your inner child is crying out for that love and for that affection. So I'm going to pull the last message here. This is going to be the guardian angel messages, just to kind of see maybe what your guardian angels, or just what any kind of spirit around you wants you to know at this time. We have believe. Be open to all possibilities and opportunities. Let go of perceived ideas. There is nothing to fear. You are constantly surrounded by love. Start to believe in yourself and trust your instincts. Wondrous possibilities and opportunities abound, provided you are flexible. And retain an open heart and mind. Believe all is possible. Yeah, I feel like, again, there's some kind of abundance, or there's some kind of gift, or there's something that's going to come into your guys' life that could be kind of like a miracle, right? And what's kind of funny is when we're a child, we really do believe in magic. We really do believe in the unseen world. And as we get older, it's like we start to lose that side of us, that we forget that the world around us is magical, that anything can happen at any moment. And I feel like you guys are due for a blessing, or you're due for something good in your life. And I feel like for, guys, again, indulge in it, enjoy it, and don't be ashamed or don't feel bad in being a little selfish about whatever this is, right? Because I feel like you guys really deserve it. And I'm going to read at the bottom of the deck too here, because I felt drawn to do so. We have here peace. Calm your thoughts and move your awareness to a peaceful space inside your heart. Feel the ebb and flow of love, the eternal movement of the stars. Your life is forever unfolding to greater spheres of love. Relax and do not worry about anything, for all is well. You will soon enter a time of well-earned peace and tranquility. That's really beautiful, pile number 1. Thank you guys for letting me do this reading for you guys. I hope that this gives you guys some kind of peace and solace in this situation. My heart goes out to you guys because this is sad, right? It's sad when children don't get their needs met, but it's even sadder too when adults, as we are getting older, we still have those wounds from that inner child. So sending you guys a bunch of love and light. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great and wonderful day, pile number 1. Thank you. Bye. All right, those of you guys that chose pile number 2, this cute little doll, or this tarot deck, this is going to be your guys' reading. So what is it that your inner child needs to heal, or wants you to know, or is just in the process of working through at this time? So give me just one moment as I shuffle the deck, and I will be right back. I am so excited to finally announce that I have my own line of candles. If you guys are interested in any of the candles that I've created, please check it out in the description box, as well as using the promo code Shae208. That will give you free shipping above anything that's $50 and up in purchase. If you guys are interested in learning about the significance between each candle, I created a video. Check it out, you guys. Thank you for supporting me, my channel, and my friend. Thank you. All right, pile number 2. What is it that your inner child needs healing or just needs attention? I just kind of want to say already, pile number 2, I think that you guys already kind of know what you need to heal. There just seems to be kind of a block there. So pile number 2, I kind of get the feeling that a lot of you guys have already been in the process of healing this inner child wound that you may be experiencing, because I just get the feeling that it's been like slow and steady progress. I think you guys have been on this healing journey for a while, and I kind of feel like you guys are finally starting to let go of some kind of abandonment. If this feels like an abandonment wound that needs to be healed, and I'm getting that like you are on the verge of it, but there's some kind of like conflict there. I'm getting the feeling that you might be still dealing with family members or people that are trying to still keep you stuck in that childhood paradigm with them. Because I'm just getting that no, but it's really weird. It's like pile number 2. How do I describe this? It's like, let's say for instance, okay, you were always the butt of the joke, right, in your family. This is an example. So you're always like the butt of the joke of the family, and now you're like, no, I'm not that anymore. And then everyone around you is trying to combat you to go back into that placement of being the butt of the joke. So you're kind of in this almost rebellious phase, and it doesn't even matter how old you are. It's almost like you are trying to be that catalyst of change in a family dynamic, and those around you are not accepting it. They're not able to even comprehend it. It's like they don't even realize how negative they really are. So it's almost like you're around people that could be kind of like not very self-aware, or again, they like the status quo. They like the position that you're in. They kind of like that one up, one down position, the win-lose. I feel like you guys could have had that growing up, that dog-eat-dog world kind of mentality in your household, where people were like, you have to step on people's necks and you have to go and do this and do that in order to be the best. And maybe you have learned, it's almost like you're learning that that's not really the way of life. I just feel like you're around people who had a very lack mindset, people who really thought in lack. They saw something, and like for instance, maybe your neighbor got a brand new truck or something, and your parents, when you were a child, and your parents would say, oh, they're just show-offs, or they're just this, or they're just, it's almost like they always had to bash other people for the wealth and for the abundance that they had. Because I just get the feeling that you could have been around a lot of jealous people or a lot of envious people that could have even projected a lot of that onto you, pile number 2. So there's definitely something here about people projecting onto you, and I don't know why, but when I looked at this cute little doll, it almost made me think of maybe people would attack your looks too, maybe the way you dress, or the way you would do your hair, or the way you just were as a person. Just something about your personal or your physical appearance being attacked, and that is something that your inner child wants you to heal and work on and give love to. So I think, like, for instance, I'll give an example. I used to hate my feet, and I didn't like touching my feet. I didn't like looking at my feet. I hated my feet. And one day, I don't even know why, but one day I just looked at my feet and I thought, maybe instead of giving so much hate towards my feet, I should give my feet love. So I did a pedicure. I took care of my feet. I got rid of all the dead skin, right? I painted my toenails, and I wear open-toe shoes. I used to not wear very many open-toed shoes, but then I decided to. And all of a sudden, because I gave so much love to my feet, I started to actually enjoy it. I would rub my feet every night with lotion. I would make sure that every once in a while I'll soak my feet in a tub, or, give my feet love, even though I was really insecure about it. And I think for you guys, it's kind of like that. There's something about your body, something about your physical appearance that you could have been teased or made fun of, and it's like needing to learn to give that part of you love, even if it's looking in the mirror and being like, oh, I love my nose, and you say it over and over and over and over again. It's really hard to start that process. because when I started learning to love my feet, I was like, oh, this is gross. Why am I doing this? I don't want to touch them. I don't want to do anything with them. And now it's like, I love to do that. And I feel weird when I don't take care of my feet. And you know how many compliments I get now for my feet and for my shoes? I know a lot of people that love that I wear open-toed shoes and that I take such good care of my feet. And it's funny because, you know, when you start to give parts of yourself love, it's amazing how much people are going to take notice of that and how much people are going to give you love for that. So there's something here about that physical appearance that your inner child is asking for you to take care of that or to give that part of you love. And so whatever this is, and for some of you guys, this could even be wanting to like exercise or eat healthy. It can be anything, whatever you are physically ashamed of or feel, because I get the sense that you guys could have been bullied, pile number 2. This pile feels like a pile that has been bullied growing up, and I feel like you were teased for something that was actually quite beautiful, but everyone else around you were maybe, again, jealous or insecure, and they could have really bullied you for that. And so there is this sense of needing to see that beauty. Like, why were they joking? Why were they being cruel to you about that? There's something there, like, about your physical appearance that made other people uncomfortable because I get the sense that it was actually like very beautiful, or it really made you stand out in a unique way that really upsetted people. And it's like maybe understanding why were these people so upset, and maybe it's realizing like, oh, it's because maybe they were insecure. There's something here about that though, and I just feel like some of you guys really could have been bullied for again, something physically. Another thing that I'm also getting here is that people are, I don't know, pile number 2. You're around a lot of jealous, envious people. That's the only way I can describe this pile. I just feel like you were around people that had to constantly put you down because of that. And I get the sense that pile number 2, because you were around people that always had to put you down, it almost puts you in this position of almost needing to overextend yourself, overprove yourself. Some of you guys could even be perfectionists because of this, because maybe, again, it was like you could have had expectations put on you at a very young age that were very unfair, that were not even realistic expectations. And I just feel like you could have, of course you fell short because if they were unrealistic expectations to begin with, you know, and I get this feeling that you're around people that always wanted to win and wanted you to lose. There was this sense of there was never a win-win. There was never let's compromise. It was always like my way or the highway, or this is how this has to go. It's like this really like dictator kind of energy, like really controlling environment. I get the feeling you guys were kind of like in a very controlling environment that caused you guys to really bring yourself, it's almost like you play yourself small. You guys could have, and I just kind of get the feeling for some of you guys, like you could have been made fun of for even a learning disability, because I just get this sense from you guys of feeling like maybe like, I don't know, and I hate bringing myself up so much, but it's like when I was younger, I would have a stutter, and when I get too hyper, when I get too excited, and I would stumble over my words and I would kind of stutter, and my mom would get very angry with me for stuttering. And so I spend hours, plus people would make fun of me for the way I would talk. So I would spend hours perfecting my speech by myself alone in my room. And that was a big insecurity for me. And, my dad and my brother were dyslexic. So when I was a kid, I loved to read. I still love to read. But when my teacher would say, who wants to read? I would be the first kid to raise my hand and I would read out loud. But because I always got my A's and my E's and stuff mixed up, and I still have it a little bit, it's not as bad. I have it really bad with numbers still, but like with words, I'd mix up like my A's and E's, and people would laugh at me because I would pronounce a word wrong, or I would make a miss up somewhere, but it never really truly stopped me from enjoying it. But I feel like that's kind of like something here, like you guys could have gotten made fun of in class, like in a classroom. There was something here about going home and being in a controlling environment and then going to school and then being bullied for something. Maybe your parents could have restricted you from certain things and then you got made fun of in school for it. There's something here about just getting humiliated, right? Feeling this humiliation, feeling this ridicule around people around you, feeling really judged, pile number 2. And I am so sorry, especially because I can relate so well to that. But I just get this feeling that there was just this sense of, it's like, and I feel like you guys have overcome a lot though. Like maybe you guys got made fun of there was something about you guys that just warranted people to want to make fun of you. And it wasn't like there's anything wrong with you. I think it was just, again, when kids stand out or when kids are a little bit different from the others, they want to target that child. And I feel like you've just been a target for like ridicule. You've been a target for people that just made fun of you for unnecessary things or things that weren't even like, why would you make fun of somebody for that? There's definitely something here, pile number 2. And it maybe, again, there's just this, you're having a hard time letting it die. You're having a hard time letting this part of you go. I think you guys identify with that. You identify with being bullied, or you identify with some kind of disability or some kind of insecurity because you were so heavily bullied for it. Like your physical appearance or again, some kind of learning disability or something there. So there's just this sense of needing to kind of give yourself that love. It's more like giving yourself that patience too, especially because for some of you guys, I think you guys get in your head a lot and you beat yourself up. It's like the bullies in school become the bully in your mind. It's like it's almost like, and I'm also getting too, even in your household, you're around siblings or parents that just shamed you a lot or just embarrassed you in public. There's something about public embarrassment that was really difficult for you to let go emotionally. And I just get the sense that you haven't let that go emotionally, because there is this it's really hard to explain. And I just kind of feel like it has something to do with a structure, like a school or a church or like something that is a building or a place that you would go to that you would get made fun of a lot. And I just get this sense that it really impacted kind of how, it's almost like it impacted your self-image, especially on a physical aspect. So it's kind of needing to take that time to nurture yourself. If you have some kind of insecurity, there's a way to, it's like find a way that would be best for you. Again, it's not easy to start the self-love, especially when it comes to self-image, because it's ourselves, right? We get distorted in our own self-image. Sometimes we just don't perceive ourselves accurately. So there's something about you guys here that there is something that you're just not perceiving accurately. Another thing that I'm getting here too, pile number 2, is that you guys could have had a lot of people contradicting you, or you're just in a household that was very contradicting. So I feel like you had parents that were like, no, you can't do this, and blah, 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 and they're very controlling and restricted, and the next thing you know, they're like, why are you asking me that? Of course that's okay, I don't care. But you see what I mean? It's like they had an issue with it one day, the next day they don't have an issue with it. It was almost like you were walking around confused about your childhood, confused about what was okay and what wasn't okay, what was acceptable and what wasn't acceptable. Because I feel like those lines got blurred a lot growing up, as well as there might not have really been that many boundaries in your childhood. So maybe you had parents that wouldn't knock, they would just walk in your room without knocking. Maybe you had people go through your stuff without without asking. There's things like just people really impeding in your personal space that you need to heal and work through, because there's something here about feeling like opposed upon and feeling kind of put on that display. Again, that's something about, I can't stop hearing that. It's like public humiliation, getting made fun of for something that you did or something that you would do. And it's kind of just like, and again, it doesn't feel like it was anything that was really warranted, the ridicule that you got, right? It's like, okay, like for instance, me messing up on a word, and all the kids laughing at me. That was stupid, right? It's like everyone messes up, everything is okay, but there's like maybe you made little mistakes and like people would make fun of you for it, or would put that out there and display, like, look at pile number 2 for messing up again. And it was, you know what I mean? It's like bullying, it's this ridicule, it's just, and it's almost like you could have just been around a lot of people that would lie to you or take from you, that would deceive you, that wouldn't give you the full information. I just get the sense that like you were around family members again that had the whole like dog eat dog mentality, like it's a hard, tough world out there, and you know, it's every man for himself. That's just the feeling that I'm getting, pile number 2, and I hate that for you, because nobody deserves that growing up as a child. So let's just get a couple of additional messages here. Yeah, there's definitely something here about just being, it's like uncalled for and unnecessary things that happen to you. So we have house, an official person. I just get that there was one person in particular too, especially with that official person. There was one person in your household, whether that, and you know, because we have 2 women cards coming up, I'm wondering if it's a female energy in your guys' life that was just uncalled for. So we have poverty, we have unexpected income. I think that for some of you guys, you could have came from a, like I said, there was this lack mentality, there was never enough. And that was the first thing I got the second I pulled all these cards, was like, you could have been around family members that hated rich people, right? And they were always bashing on the rich or bashing on people who have more than them. Because again, there's something about never having enough, nothing is enough. And maybe like, you guys are starting to get out of that, you know, this judgmental energy from these people. But it's almost like one of the things that is actually helping you guys heal is you guys starting to make your own source of income. Some of you guys are meant to be rich, pile number 2, and I think that's a generational curse you guys are going to be breaking in your family, is this poverty that your family went through. Realizing that you don't have to live in that type of mentality. And I feel like you're around people who would purposefully do things to get ahead in life. They would sabotage someone else to get that promotion. And it's like, maybe I just get the sense you're around a lot of cutthroat people, unfortunately. We also have here despair. Oh, pile number 2, I feel like a lot of you guys have lost a lot in your life, especially with that poverty card. Something about your household where you've had a person in your life that could have taken a lot from you or used you in some way. I'm also getting as well as you could have had family try to use you for money and still do. Maybe you have people around you or a woman or a person in your life that's trying to keep taking from you. We also have here journey. You guys are on a journey of self-discovery, and I feel like you guys are also on this journey of healing, and it's almost like pile number 2, you guys are going to start to finally let go of all these insecurities that a lot of these people, a lot of these jealous, envious people put on you. And you know, it's not, I'm getting it's not even your fault for like any of this, really. It was almost like you were just this innocent bystander. I think that too, you guys were very sensitive, energetically speaking. Like you could feel other people's pain, or you could feel the environment around you. You guys could have read like can't talk. You guys could have read the room really well. So you know, when two people are arguing in a room and you walk in, you can instantly feel that tension. So it's almost like you guys have a coping mechanism to reading the room, reading other people. And I just keep getting this sense of feeling despair, feeling loss, feeling misunderstood, feeling rejected, kind of similar to pile number 1. With this pile, it just feels like you've been around a lot of hostile people, like a lot of people that were fighting to get to the top or fighting to get somewhere in life, and was taking shortcuts and hurting other people for it, and using others, and just this deceitful, terrible energy that I just feel like was taking a toll on you mentally as well as physically. And I just feel like that. And if you look at it too, it's almost like you're giving a handout to family members that don't deserve it, or people that take advantage of you. And it's like maybe you're in that process of learning to cut people off. Again, I kept getting this feeling that you're trying to break some kind of generational curse, or break some kind of role that you were put into, and everyone around you trying to force you back into that role, right? Of you being like the butt of the joke, or you being the scapegoat, or you being the person that's always getting blamed for things, even if you had nothing to do with it. So it's kind of that vibe. And I feel like pile number 2, your inner child is asking you to maybe even pull away from some of these people temporarily, to get back into center, to ground yourself again. I get the sense that some of you guys maybe have even cut off family members, or you're thinking about cutting off family members. It's like you guys are really seeing people's true colors here. And we have here complacency. I think that at a young age, you were taught to be complacent. You were taught that what you get is what you get, and you don't throw a fit. There's something here about like, oh, you're so ungrateful. We did this for you. We did that for you. And it's almost like, again, people putting this expectation on you, pile number 2, about you needing to do certain things. So it's almost like, you know, maybe you didn't realize that there was better for you out there until maybe you got a little older and you realized that you didn't have to put up with all the stuff that these people were giving you. So there's definitely something here about being complacent, being afraid, I feel like, of even moving out of a situation. Maybe you're afraid of cutting a family member off financially. Maybe you're afraid of standing up for yourself, so you stayed complacent for so long. And it's like that inner child is screaming out to be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged. And it's like, whatever this is, I feel like you guys are in that in-between state of actually starting to finally commit to it and saying, no, enough is enough. I'm not going to be complacent anymore. So we also have renewal. There is this, and I am sensing this, you almost do on an instinctual and intuitive level, pile number 2, know what it is that you need to heal. It's just having to figure out how to work around these uncomfortable emotions. There's something of having to grieve the family you never had, the love you never got. There is this, I need to heal because I never received the love, I never received the care that I truly deserved or that I really desire. So it's having to find that balance right now of giving yourself, again, patience. You need to be patient with yourself. It's like, I get the sense that you guys are trying to rush the healing process. And I feel like this has been it's like this has been something that's been going on your whole life, pile number 2. And it's like, you need to understand you're not going to heal overnight. This pain, this wound is a deep-seated wound that has been conflicted on you day after day, month after month, year after year, and it takes time to heal sometimes. And it's just giving yourself that love and compassion, and again, giving yourself that care, and finding what makes you beautiful. And the parts of you that people could have bullied you for, made fun of you for, could have been parts of you that was actually very beautiful, or again, very unique about your physical appearance that made you stand out from the crowd. And that's not a bad thing. And I think that as children, we're so afraid of standing out, because if we stood out, then we would get picked or made fun of. So I think a lot of those children or a lot of those people in your life, pile number 2, could have just tried to, kind of like those sheep, right? They kind of follow the herd because they don't want to be bullied or they don't want to stand out. And I feel like some of you guys, maybe you had this very unique quality about you, or there's something different about you that stood out that people were threatened by, or just they didn't understand, and they made fun of you for it. And it's like, that's the part of you that's finally gonna heal. There's some kind of like embarrassment that is in the process of being worked on and healed right now. And it's just giving yourself that permission to really heal that part of you. Some of you guys might even try and isolate yourself, some people, or there's a sense of being afraid of, it's like there's trust issues that have been broken, especially with that despair. There's been, your trust has been broken with humanity at its whole, and I feel like some of you guys, I'm even getting this, your sense of divine or God, maybe as a child, because you were maybe so heavily abused or bullied that maybe you were like, why God, why divine, why do this to me, why not help me? And maybe it's like losing faith, right? There's something about losing faith and losing a sense of yourself. So we have here confusion. And again, I feel like you're around people that contradicted you, that made you feel like you couldn't, it's like, again, this contradicting energy. That's all I keep getting from you guys. It's like something here is very contradicting. And it's like you've been around people that really could have made you feel bad or really made you feel weird about being different. Sorry, my dog's whining. He just woke up from his nap. But here we have trickery at the bottom of the deck. So you guys were around tricksters. Again, there's something here about people tricking you. And then I think that some of you guys go into isolation because, again, there's some kind of trust issue that needs to be healed. You need to heal. And this is, again, trust is a very, very hard topic. It is not something that's easy. It's not something that we can just wake up one day and say, okay, I trust everybody. You know what I mean? This is something that I feel like is going to be a ongoing healing process, but it's having to trust yourself and know that you know what's best for you and not listen to other people, because I feel like you've been listening to other people and other people are purposefully confusing you or contradicting themselves or not giving you the love and the support that you actually need. So there's definitely something here of having to give to yourself and confirm to yourself what's actually happening. And I get the sense that some of you guys, maybe you question yourself like, oh, you know, this family member's not too bad, right? But then like you'll remember all the terrible things they did to you, but there's this fear of cutting them off, or there's this fear of what will they say, what will they do? Again, this complacency, there's something here about being complacent out of fear, and it's like you learning to break out of that. There is this sense of needing to stand up for yourself, and I think that's what your inner child is really asking you to do, is for you to put your foot down against people that are trying to oppose you all the time or trying to stifle you or quiet you down. You could have even been told growing up that you were just too much as a child. Oh, you're just too much. Settle down. You're just too much. You're too hyper. You're too this. You're too that. And you really had to water yourself down. And you're not that, pile number 2. You are all of what you are. You know, you're moody, you're hyper, you're angry, you're happy. It's like there are certain emotions that you were not allowed to express in your household, and it's like now is the time to express it. Even if you do it alone in your room, even if you scream into a pillow, like say for instance anger wasn't okay for you to express in the household, find a way to let out that anger in a healthy way. That's the stuff that your soul is craving, your inner child is asking for, is for you to, express the emotions that you were not allowed to express. Give yourself that love that you need on that physical level, and take good care of yourself, taking care of your body. Some of you guys, you really need to learn to take better care of your body and taking better care of your health as well. So that is something that needs to be worked on there. So let's grab these cards over here. So we have Moon, changes in your life. Mule, someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. And see, this is what I mean by, I feel like there is this sense of you wanting to change the dynamic of your family, and it's almost like people around you are not accepting that. They're like, no, you can't have a say in this. You can't do this or that, pile number 2. Like, I'm just getting that. It's just this feeling of you being around people that are not willing to change the dynamics. They like the way the dynamics is in the family and in the household, but you guys are ready for the change in your life, and I feel like it is going to, you know what I mean? It's like it takes 2 people to tango, and if one person's not willing to be in the role that they were assigned as a child, and instead you're like, I'm an adult now and I'm a grown-up person and I make my own choices and decisions, it's like you're changing that dynamic, whether they accept it or not. And I get that feeling from you guys, and I think that this has been like a long time coming, and this is something that your inner child has been begging for or craving, is that change in dynamic. So we have here a fair woman dealing a relationship with a woman with blonde or gray or white hair. And then this is also kind of contradictory, because then we also have here the dark woman dealing or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. So for some of you guys, you know, that could be like maybe they had dark hair and now they have gray hair or whatever, right? Take however that resonates. But again, there's like, again, contradictory in this reading. There's something about confusion and one thing looking like one way, but it actually not being that way. So We also have here Peacock. Beware of great pride. You guys could be around a lot of people that are very prideful and will never admit to their flaws. And I feel like that this is something that is really hard for your inner child, because your inner child is craving that validation or that acceptance from people that hurt you, right? But it's like you can't expect to be healed from the place that hurts you. You know, we can't go back to people who hurt us and think that that's how we're gonna get healed. So there's something here about needing to realize that you're never gonna get validation from these people, and it's almost like your inner child, it's craving that, but it's really like you needing to learn to give that to yourself, the validation that you never received as a child. So we have here dog barking, advice from a friend. So I feel like some of you guys could have even gotten advice from people that does care about you, at telling you like, oh, you need to leave this dynamic, or you need to do this or that. And again, there is this sense of, again, lack of trust in people and in self. And I feel like that was really installed into you as a child, feeling like you couldn't really trust people around you. So we have here February. This could be a month that has some kind of significance to it, or the upcoming February could have significance to you. And then we have love. So what I'm getting here too is you guys are worthy of being loved and treated with respect. And so it's like, surround yourself with people that do get that to you, because unfortunately from children who grew up in environments that were hostile or just not very kind or loving, a lot of the times we do not receive the love we deserve, and so we settle for less, or we don't realize that there's more out there for us. And it's almost asking, your inner child's almost asking for you to almost step out of your comfort zone and find people that will love you and resonate with you, and leave the ones that don't, as well as giving that love and that compassion and that patience with yourself on this healing journey, because I just get the feeling that you guys have gone through a lot, and it's needing to give yourself that permission to actually heal and work through what you're going through. And at the very bottom of the deck, we also have V for victory. Victory is in some endeavor. So some of you guys are actually going to have a victory soon, or you guys are going, it's almost like pile number 2, whatever boundaries or whatever position you put yourself in, you're gonna come out of this victorious. So it's knowing that you're gonna be okay in the end, but you need to do what is best for you, because I feel like you're around certain people that would take advantage of you and would hurt you, and wouldn't even bat an eye to the fact that they have done anything wrong. So you're around a lot of prideful people, and you know what they always say about pride? The higher they are, the harder they fall. So I feel like for some of you guys, you're gonna watch certain family members or certain people around you that are very stubborn, very prideful, have their downfall. And it's not to wish ill upon anyone, and it's not to speak ill upon anyone, but it's definitely to say that I want you to know that whatever kind of karma, because I get the sense too, pile number 2, that you guys have gone through some rough situations, and these people will be dealt with in their own due time. So don't pay attention to their karma, pay attention to yourself. Know that they are miserable people try to make other people miserable, and so they're already living in their own personal hell. And it's something about giving them compassion, but you can do that from a distance, right? You can give these people love and compassion from a distance. You do not have to resort yourself to dealing with these types of people, especially when they are hurting you like this. Oh, baby, I know, I gotta move Joe. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the last cards here. My little dog's on my lap, and he is not wanting me to shuffle these cards. He's being really cute on purpose. But I'm gonna pull the last cards here. These are the guardian angel messages. So what is it that your guardian angels want you to know at this time? Or just, you know, any message that wants to kind of come through to close this reading out. But definitely, it's like giving yourself love and compassion, but knowing again that, you know, sometimes life is unfair, but that doesn't mean that life is always going to be miserable or that everybody is that way. So it's having to, you know, have compassion and love for yourself, pile number 2, especially because I feel like you guys have been around a lot of toxic people that have really hurt you in your life and could have really given it to you in an kind of an uncalled for way. So we have here eternity. Gently move your awareness from the external world to a world of light within your heart. Allow each breath to heal you as you drift to a place beyond time. Internally exists within you. Forever sparkling like a diamond, you are in essence a shining star, forever transforming to ever greater light. Yeah, and I just feel like you guys are evolving and you're not the same person. You're not the same child. So it's like learning to end that story that you're telling yourself. You know, you're not this wounded child anymore. You are evolving, pile number 2, and it's needing to accept that. It's needing to give yourself that permission. It's needing to say to yourself that, you know, you're not the same person. So you need to tell a different story. Who are you now? You know, that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like, who are you in this current moment? Because you're not the child that was beaten down or abused. You know, you are a fighter. You're somebody who is strong and that can handle any adversity. So again, V for victory. Victory is in your corner. You know, you guys are going to win at whatever this is that you are fighting for, pile number 2. So remember when I said trust issues, right? At the bottom of the deck, we have trust. You are looking at a situation from a purely physical perspective, and therefore you cannot see the big picture and the blessing interwoven within this event. We, your angels, urge you to trust, for all will work out in the best way possible. Let go of your fear and your comprehension and allow God's healing energy to flow to you. Trust, for all will heal in ways you never thought possible. And I just have goosebumps. That's beautiful, and I hope that this helps you guys. Sending you guys a lot of love, a lot of light, and a lot of care, pile number 2, because you guys did not deserve the things that happened to you, and I do wish you guys healing in this journey. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great and wonderful day, pile number 2. Thank you, and remember, be kind to yourself. Bye. All right, those of you guys who chose pile number 3, this is going to be your guys' reading if you chose this cute little girl, or if you guys chose this deck. So what is it that your inner child is needing to be healed, or what is it that your inner child wants you to know at this time? I'm going to quickly shuffle the cards real quick, and I will be right back to do your reading. I am so excited to finally announce that I have my own line of candles. If you guys are interested in any of the candles that I've created, please check it out in the description box, as well as using the promo code Shae208. That will give you free shipping above anything that's $50 and up in purchase. If you guys are interested in learning about the significance between each candle, I created a video. Check it out, you guys. Thank you for supporting me, my channel, and my friend. Thank you. Okay, pile number 3. So what is it that your inner child wants to communicate with you or wants to heal at this time? So pile number 3, what I'm getting is you guys have had a lot of people telling you, no, you cannot accomplish this. No, you cannot do this. No, you're not able to do that. There's something about a lot of restrictions and a lot of people telling you what you are and aren't capable of doing, as well as a lot of people underestimated you, pile number 3. And I feel like your inner child wants you to know that it's like maybe you're afraid of starting something new, or you're afraid of going after certain goals or dreams because you've been, you know, so I'm gonna be kind of honest. I feel like I've been talking about myself about all the piles as an example, but like growing up, every time I would tell my dad, oh, I want to do this, and I got older, like I wanted to be, I wanted to work in astronomy. And my dad would tell me how terrible of a job that is and how it doesn't matter and I'm never going to be able to accomplish that. So my father always put me down for anything that I found fascinating or that I wanted to do as a career or anything that I took joy in. He always wanted to like squander that or squash that. And I feel like pile number 3, that's giving me the same vibe here, that you were around somebody that always told you you were not capable. It's almost like this person taught you how to become helpless, right? Like maybe they wouldn't tell you how to do basic things. So I would beg my mom to teach me how to cook or how to do certain things, and she wouldn't do it. So I had to learn to do it myself. But there was a sense of this helplessness that I have felt, even out of being out of the household. You know, even though I'm an adult and I can take care of myself, there is this sense of this helplessness that I was taught, that I learned, and it kind of gives me that vibe here too. Like you were put down for a lot of the things you enjoyed, you were put down for certain things, made fun of for certain things, but then at the same time, you were also taught to be helpless. Like you wanted, it's almost like you had a family member or a family dynamic where they almost wanted to cripple you, right? It's like the breaking the baby bird's wing before it can fly. It's giving me that kind of vibe. So I feel like pile number 3, you had to overcome, I think, a lot. You had a lot of situations that were not balanced, that were very one-sided connections, people that constantly took from you, people that left you kind of in your head a lot too. You might have even developed anxiety due to being around these types of people. There is this fear of like, you can't go out and do it on your own. Somebody convinced you when you were young that you can't do anything unless they were there with you, or that, again, you need somebody else to be there for you. So it's almost like you are by nature the empress. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine energy. But you have this already like boss-like energy inside of you, this independence that is already inside of you, and I feel like somebody tried to beat that out of you, pile number 3. It's almost like somebody was insecure about this fire or this independence, this sense of dedication that you had. You were very laser focused as a child on certain things, and you had the ability to go far in life, and I feel like you had a parent or somebody around you that was aware of your gifts and talents and try to stifle you for that, try to put you down for that. And I feel like that is something that really did impact you. For a lot of you guys, you even could have started to date people that did that to you as well, where you're noticing this pattern that has been perpetuating in your life of being around control freaks or being around people who, it's almost like you felt like you had to rely on others to get by in life, that you felt like you were not enough to be able to do it on your own. There is this lack of self-respect almost. There's something here of not seeing your own capability. You are a very capable person, but pile number 3, I just keep getting the feeling that you're around somebody that was threatened by your you're very competent, you're very sharp. I think even at a young age you were very intelligent or very curious or very adventurous. Somebody could have tried to snuff that out of you, try to cripple you, make you afraid of the world, try to give you this sense of, oh, you can't do this on your own, honey, I have to help you. Or what makes you think you can do that? You know, it's like this condescending energy. It's this, you're not that great. So you need me in order to feel better about yourself or to do better about yourself. There's something here about like somebody tried to put you in that 4 of Swords. They tried to put you into your head, into your mind. And that's just not who you were. You're not that person. So a lot of you guys I am so sorry, you guys. My dog, I have a mirror in my office, and my dog's laying here and he's now acknowledging his reflection. So he's growling at his own reflection. So let's hope he doesn't attack the mirror. But a lot of you guys almost, buddy, a lot of you guys almost don't even realize, it's like you just got put down so much that you almost saw the, like, what's the point, right? And it's like at the bottom of the deck, it's almost like you've had a lot of people constantly projecting onto you. Okay, buddy, you can't. You gotta stop. It's like you had a lot of people projecting onto you this insecurity. I get the sense too that you were around a parent or parental figure that almost was super codependent on you, and they didn't want to see you do better than them. They didn't want to see you thrive. So it's like they would attack you by saying these comments or saying things like, what makes you think you can do that? What makes you think you can do this? Because they didn't believe in themselves, and so they didn't want you to believe in yourself. And I think that as a child, you were very sure of yourself, pile number 3. You have this sense of yourself that you were very connected to your child. You were very connected to who you were. And unfortunately, you had some people around you that were intimidated by that took that as a personal attack on themselves because they didn't exhibit the same qualities that they saw in you. And so they wanted to kind of stifle your light, stifle this part of you that was driven and ambitious, and you can conquer anything. And you're like, I kind of get the vibe that you're like that kid that would climb on everything, or like you're kind of that wild child, and maybe you were chastised for that, or you were the child that you just really liked to do things and go out and explore things. And I feel like you're around people that constantly try to stop you from going after a hobby or going after something you like. And I feel like you were just around people that were like, oh, your head's in the clouds, or you're not being realistic, or what makes you think you can do that. And it just really beat it down, that inner child, that innocence inside of you, because I just get that feeling that you guys are like go-getters. You guys are the ones that make stuff happen. And I feel like, again, there is this thing about you had your own sense of independence at a very young age, and you're around like a mother figure or a father that didn't want to see you excel past them, or they were afraid that you weren't going to need them. And so they had to knock you down a few pegs to reinforce into you that you needed them, or that you can't do something on your own, that you're incapable. And it's like that was so ingrained into you, pile number 3, that your inner child is now trying to get you to acknowledge that you are worthy, that you are loving, that you are caring, that you are you're a lot more than that, right? You have the ability to do more than what you were led to believe. So I'm gonna pull additional cards here, buddy. You gotta stop. Oh, buddy. Oh no. I'm so sorry, pile number 3. I'm not gonna edit this out. Okay, get out. Come on. Out. Go. Man, oh man. So let's pull up some additional messages for my pile number 3s. But yeah, it's like you were really put down a lot when you guys actually had the ability. You guys actually had, it's like you just, I don't even know how to describe it. You seem so sure of yourself as a child, and you were not afraid of anything in the world. It was like you just had this courage and this fight in you, and your parents or somebody around you just, they didn't like that. They didn't like, and I just kind of feel like, yeah, we have pathway. It's like this person tried to take you off of your path. You know, you're like, you're a trailblazer, pile number 3, and your inner child is begging for you to finally accept that part of yourself. This came out kind of like lopsided, and I always see that as being blocked. So maybe your thoughts are blocking you at this time. You know, it's that mental chatter. There's this sense of needing to realize that what you were told isn't true about you. And no, you don't need to fear life. And yes, you are 100% capable of accomplishing and achieving anything you set your mind to, pile number 3. And I feel like your inner child is trying to really encourage you to do that. It's like there's a part of you that's really calling out for you to see your highest potential right now, pile number 3. It's like, please. It's like your inner child's just like crying on the inside, asking for you to acknowledge what you can. We have lovers again, lovers twice. So there's always this choice. You always had this choice. You always had this ability to create anything you wanted. And I feel like you've even had people that you've dated that have saw that potential in you and still chose to stifle that, or still try to show. It's almost like you're around people that were afraid if you saw your truest potential, then you would move on. Yeah, we have main male here, but also again with this adjudication, I feel like a lot of you guys were judged. We have main male and main female. So I'm also kind of getting from some of you guys too, pile number 3. You could have even had like a couple, like an actual like 2 people that were dating, maybe giving you bad advice, or there's something here about you just being around people that were really significant in your life. It's almost like your parents' dynamic ended up kind of becoming your dynamic when it comes to dating, right? Like maybe your mom, like maybe your dad was a specific type of like, maybe an alcoholic, right? Like as an example, for some of you guys, this is the case. Maybe you had an alcoholic parent and you happen to attract people who also are an alcoholic or have similar tendencies to your father or to your mother. So there's definitely something here of there's a wound there that needs to be healed, and it's almost like you are, whether you're realizing it or not, pile number 3, maybe on a subconscious level, you attract the people that remind you of your parents so that you can react out those childhood wounds. And it's like your inner child is asking you to just take note of that, to just pay attention to the type of people that are around you, because the people that are around you are really mirroring back to you this wound of abandonment or this wound of rejection. There's definitely something here of being misinterpreted about what is going on in your life, because I just kind of feel like you're around people that are mimicking that type of behavior that is keeping you from truly healing. It's almost like you cannot heal this wound being in the relationships that you're in. You know, you need to give yourself space from these types of people and give yourself a lot of love and patience. Because I feel like pile number 3, you have had a lot of people put you down for your talents, for your abilities, and nobody really truly mirrored to you how competent you are, how amazing you are, how good of a job you do. You know, maybe you're around a lot of critics or a lot of people that want to beat you down or don't want you to see your worth, because it's almost like you're around people that want to take advantage of you, pile number 3. And it's like your inner child is saying to you like, okay, we're not helpless. I know we feel like we're helpless. I know we feel like we can't do this on our own, and maybe rely on a partner, or we rely on a family member, or we rely on a friendships that isn't really healthy for us. And it's asking you to see your own independence and see your own strength and get yourself out of situations that are draining you emotionally, physically, and financially. Because I feel like you're around people, pile number 3, that are taking you for granted, that are not really there for you. And maybe even try to throw you off of your path for what it is that you're really here to do in this world. I feel like a lot of you guys are natural healers, or you have this really soothing, healing ability, and it's really asking you to, instead of giving it out to others, instead go within and give that to your inner child, give that to yourself. There's something that like you give patience to other people, but when it comes to you, you don't have patience, right? If we look at these cards here, we have impatient. I feel like you guys are just really impatient with yourself, and you're not giving yourself the love and the respect that you need. And it's like when you make a mistake, you might beat yourself up over and over again and never forgive yourself for the mistakes you made. And it's asking you to have patience with yourself and know that you make mistakes and that's okay. We're all human, and it's learning to accept the things that we maybe perhaps cannot change. So there's definitely something here about not beating yourself up so much for making a mistake or for being in situations that maybe were not so kind to you. So we have here, dissipating, and I feel like pile number 3. Maybe you feel like your life is passing you by. Maybe you feel like you're missing out in life. There is this sense of you, for instance, pile number 3, I'm getting this thing where it's like you have an idea to go do something, but you're like waiting for your partner, or you're waiting for a friend, or it's like you're waiting for somebody to go with you or to do something for it. Like, I'm going to use this as an example. Like, let's say you want to get healthy and you want to exercise, you want to go to the gym, but you want to take your friend with you to the gym so you both can work out, and maybe your friend wants to, but they always have excuses, and so they never go with you, and maybe you're afraid to go do it by yourself. Again, there's a sense of helplessness that you were taught, that you needed another person by your side because you're incapable of doing things. And so it's like that's that despondency. It's like you guys are just dissipating. You're just dissipating because it's like time is wasting by, and it's like it irks you because maybe you want to go to the gym, but you're too afraid to go by yourself, and you're waiting for that friend, and it's like your inner child is telling you, now is not the time to procrastinate. Now is the time to get up and do it yourself instead of relying on another person to help you or to get you through this hurdle or to go with you. Instead, you just need to do it on your own. And when you start to do things on your own, pile number 3, then will your inner child start to feel seen, heard, loved? Because I feel like pile number 3, you guys are way more capable than you give yourself credit for. And I just feel like you guys have been around a lot of people who really put you down, who's really hurt you, who really just did not have your best interest at heart. And so it's really learning to let that go, and it's really learning to understand that you are capable. So we have here impartiality, and I feel like, again, there is this sense of not really having being reciprocated properly. I feel like you had a lot of people who took advantage of you, who didn't give you what you deserved, what you desired. Maybe you had a lot of people that just told you, it's like they expected you to settle for crumbs. They expected you to settle for less than what you deserve. And it's the time, pile number 3, to acknowledge that you don't need to settle for less. The first thing that comes to you as an offer is not the first thing that you should accept. It's almost like asking you to be more, like, have more standards, right? Set more boundaries with those around you. Put your foot down and say, no, I'm not going to accept your crumbs. I deserve a 4-course meal like you do, pile number 3. And it's like, it's time for you to stop settling for less and to start going after your goals and your dreams, because you guys have this ambitious spirit that is just your nature. It just is who you are. And I feel like a lot of you guys have had a lot of people that were intimidated by that and tried to stifle that inside of you. And now it's time for you to finally allow that part of you to come out of the woodworks. It's time for you to finally let yourself shine. And I feel like it's going to step on some people's toes, right? It's going to upset some people around you. But those people are not meant to be with you if they can't accept you for who you truly are, pile number 3. So I kind of get this feeling that you were really stifled as a child in a very unfair way, in a way that was really did just just beat down your soul. It really, it's almost like it really repressed your soul. I feel like you guys are the type of people that are gonna have careers that's kind of like unconventional, or you guys, your pathway, it's almost like you guys are beating your own drum. You guys move in your own way. You move differently than the average person, and there's going to be people around you, pile number 3, that's not going to understand that, that's not going to get that about you, and that's not your problem, that's theirs. And it's needing to also understand whose problem is it, right? So maybe growing up, you had a parent or you had somebody around you that always would make it seem like it was your problem, and really it was their problem. They were just projecting onto you. So when you're around people, pay attention, because sometimes I feel like you have people around you, pile number 3, that could be self-projecting onto you, and it's almost like your inner child wants you to become aware of that, so that you can say that's your problem, not my problem. Because there's something about here being afraid of maybe rocking the boat, or being afraid of maybe even standing up for yourself, because maybe there is that sense of feeling like you don't have the right to ask for more, but you do. And you guys maybe are like entrepreneurs, or you guys are gonna do something that is out of the norm, or there's something you want to do that's out of the norm, and it's like your inner child is like, go for it, do it, come on, we are capable of this. It's like you guys are that trailblazer. You're the one that like paves a way for other people in the future to go for their dreams, to go for their goals. And I just like got this like chill in my legs and in my like spine. So I feel like this is very accurate. This is a very true statement. You guys are going to inspire so many people, pile number 3, but because people around you try to take you off of your path, because people around you try to make you feel less than, or try to make you feel like you were not as important, or that what you had to offer was nothing, it really led you to believe that about yourself, and that is just not true, pile number 3. So we also have here forgiveness, and I feel like this is forgiving yourself for it's almost like having to forgive yourself for allowing yourself, like maybe pile number 3, you lost yourself at one point. You know, a lot of people maybe were chatting in your ear, telling you things that were not true about you, and maybe you ended up believing them in a lot of ways. And again, that could have left you feeling incapable, left you feeling helpless, made you feel like you were not going to ever accomplish anything in this lifetime. But I'm telling you, that's not true, pile number 3. You have so much to offer and so much to give in this world, and I want to cry. Oh my goodness, because I just feel this sense of overwhelm. I am crying. Way to go, pile number 3, because I want to give you guys a hug, because I just kind of get this feeling that you guys were beaten down so much as a child that you don't even see the potential that you really have. The pull, the weight that you have in this world. And I feel like the world needs somebody like you, pile number 3. You guys have very inventive ideas. You have a way of thinking that needs to be shared. The way that you see the world, the way that you move around in the world, it's almost as like it's very needed. You know, you're like that guiding light for others, and a lot of people were intimidated by that, and it's like you're having to learn to let that part go so that you can actually do what you were meant to do in this lifetime. And that is what your inner child is calling for you to do, is to let go of this sense of helplessness, this sense of not being enough, not being able to do enough, and really put yourself back out there. Don't be afraid to go after your goals, because I think that you guys are naturally this courageous, fearless person that would take risks as a child, and that part of you is still there. It's just buried under shame and guilt and being told that you are too much and you need to burn your light down so that they can see, because your light was so bright that it was blinding those around you, pile number 3, and they were so intimidated by that light that they had to beat down that beautiful, amazing part of you in order for them to feel comfortable, right? And we're not here to make people feel comfortable, pile number 3. We're here to change the world. We're here to awaken people. We're here to change the way that the world is structured, to change the way that we walk through life. And we need people like that in this world. And I feel like pile number 3, you guys are those people. You guys are those innovators. You guys are the ones that can see a problem and solve it. You guys are very intelligent, very capable people. And I feel like your inner child is wanting and asking for you to see that in yourself now. So at the bottom of the deck, we also have here bittersweet. So this experience that you went through was very bittersweet, because I get the sense that you had to lose yourself to find yourself again. You had to be stifled to rise even higher than you would have if you weren't stifled, pile number 3. So understand that, as terrible as a situation as that could have been and is in your childhood, and even to this point could still be, you really are capable of changing, and you really are capable of excelling really far in life. I get the sense that you guys are also meant to be abundant. You're meant to live comfortably. You really are. And I feel like pile number 3, it's time for you to accept that about yourself, that you are an abundant person, that you're meant for great things, and that you're meant to stand out in this world. You're not meant to blend in with others, and that you are more than capable of doing whatever it is that comes to mind. You can achieve it. If you can visualize it, pile number 3, you can do it. And that is exactly what your inner child is wanting you to know about yourself. So let me grab these cards here. So something that I noticed about this pile is you guys had a lot of dates in this pile. We have September, we have January, and we have April. And I don't know if any of these months are significant. I know that January is coming up. We just had September, or April. There's something here that could have some kind of significance for you in that way. But there we go. We have those 3 dates. And then we have here leg. Stepping into a new experience. Yeah, it's time for you to step into a new reality, pile number 3. Stop holding yourself back. Because here's the thing, pile number 3, okay? These people are already hating on you, right? These people are already hating on you, so you might as well blind them with your light. You might as well go and do what you want to do anyway, because you can't appease haters. You really can't. Haters are gonna hate, right? And it's time to accept that you are worth so much more. And a lot of the times too, the people that hate us the most, the ones that are really mean or vocalize a lot of hate towards you, are normally your biggest fans, or normally the people that are gonna take notes. So show your greatness, show your worth, show what you are made of, pile number 3, because that's gonna give incentive for other people to do the same. And I feel like, again, you guys are gonna be that big inspiration to those around you. So we have here feather. Someone you know is undependable and insecure. What what was I saying? You're around some insecure people. Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know if you guys can see these goosebumps on camera. I'm getting goosebumps, pile number 3, when I read that, because I feel like you had people around you that were really insecure and that were undependable, but they relied so heavily on you that they needed to stifle you down. They needed you to be, it's almost like they were helpless, but they wanted to make you think that you were the helpless one, right? So that you wouldn't leave them. So there's definitely that codependency there that I was picking up on, and I feel like you have people around you that are like that, and it's time that you see it for really what it is and step into your higher self, pile number 3. So we have finger. It's interesting that we have leg and finger. It's almost like body parts. That's interesting. Warning, you have a problem either now or in the near future. So maybe you learning to step into yourself, right, is going to ruffle some people's feathers. It's going to make some people angry. It's going to cause some drama. But stand firm in yourself, pile number 3, and understand that you are more than capable of overcoming these challenges, right? I just feel like you guys do not really see how strong you really are. And, sometimes we have to, when we are getting out of, say, for instance, right, it says you're stepping into a new experience. Before we step into that new experience, there's that shifting period, right? Where we have to shift out of an old experience into a new experience. And sometimes people around us get uncomfortable as much as we are uncomfortable. And so I feel like that's what that means. That's what's kind of coming up, is like, just be aware of the uncomfortability of others around you as well as yourself, especially if you set boundaries and barriers with those that are insecure, because you're around people that are really insecure, and they're really insecure about your light. And I feel like these people are beating you down now, and you're not even at your greatest or your highest peak yet. So it's like, understand that when you start to rise up, they're going to get louder, right? They're going to get more angry, but that's their problem, not your problem. So it's understanding, don't take it personally, pile number 3. Understand that your haters are just your biggest fans in disguise, and that they're watching everything you're doing, and that they are secretly low-key going to be inspired by the things that you do. So that is kind of the message that I'm definitely getting in that way. We have here teapot. Deep friendship with someone of the same sex. I feel like you guys are gonna have a friend, or that you do have a friend that's actually going to be a nice support network. So instead of focusing on the negative people in your life, because I feel like pile number 3, you might be surrounded by a lot of insecure, negative people, focus on that one friend, or focus on that one person, or there's somebody in your life that actually could be a real support network, or that actually wants to encourage you or nurture that inner strength that you have. Find people like that. Find like-minded people that's going to give you what you need, pile number 3, because I feel like you guys need that love and that support, because you guys are meant to do great things, and these people are small-minded, and they don't see past what they're going to do tomorrow. So pay attention to your future. Where do you visualize yourself in 5 to 10 years, and start making those changes, because you are more than capable, pile number 3. So at the very bottom of the deck here, we have bull. Do not back down from do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. Yes, right? You are the bull. You are strong, right? Do not back down. Do not let these naysayers, do not let these people tell you what you are and are not capable of. They do not know you. Not truly. You know who you are more than they know who you are. And it's like, stop allowing people to project onto you their insecurities. And again, remember, what people say to you says more about them than it does about you. So pay more attention to what they're saying, and realizing that, like, what's the meaning behind that? Why would they say that, right? Why would they say it like that? Why would they do it like that unless they were triggered or unless something came up in their existence that made them feel insecure? So that's kind of what I'm getting here, pile number 3. So we're going to close out this reading with a message from your guardian angels, just to kind of give you guys just a nice little closing message of what do they want you to know at this time. And you know, your inner child is just asking you to really see how incredible you are, pile number 3. So this is like my real inspirational pile. That shuffle was terrible. It wasn't even a shuffle. You guys are really my inspirational pile, and I absolutely love that. So I'm glad that I got to do your reading last, because I feel like this is just, it closes off this reading in I think a really beautiful way, because you really, I already just see the greatness in this pile, and the road that you're already on. You guys are going to start making leadways in your guys' life. So let's see here. What message does your guardian angel have for my pile number 3s? We actually have guardian angel. So you guys definitely do have a guardian angel that's watching out for you at this time. So even if you feel like you guys are alone at this time, pile number 3, you are not alone. You have somebody that either could have passed on from another, or has, or is just there for you on the other side, right? So we have trust. All unfolds in perfect timing. You are one with divine will. Focus only on love, and all you truly desire will manifest at the most perfect moment. Be patient. I, your guardian angel, am watching over you. Right in the impatience card, it's like, slow down, pile number 3. You got this. Believe that you have this. What is meant for you is not going to pass you by. Just be willing to take hold and grab onto it when it's here, okay? So at the bottom of the deck, we have prayer. I'm gonna take that. So we have, dear guardian angel, help me dissolve past guilt or regret. Help me to see that all is always in perfect and divine order. Help me to let go of the fear that I project on my future. Help me to live fully within each precious moment and feel your internal love within and around me. Help me to realize and fulfill my true potential. Thank you. I love how beautiful that all ties into what I was saying. Pile number 3, this is your guys' reading. I hope that this resonates for you guys. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Have a great and wonderful day, pile number 3. And remember, you are more than capable of doing anything you set your mind to. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Have a great day. Bye.